This classification is based on the similarities in the types of activities people engaged in to earn a living. There are three main types of economic sectors. Actually, there are the different types of economic sector, which is given in your book. And first is the primary sector, second the secondary sector, and the third is tertiary sector. So we are now getting to know that there are uh, three types of economic sector. First primary sector, second secondary sector, and third is tertiary sector. Okay, now classification of economic activities into economic sectors. Okay, now first primary sector, we can see that in primary sector farming is there, mining is there, okay, and fishing is there, and raising livestock is there, and forestry is there. Now second is sector. In secondary sector, we can see that construction of building, construction of dams, constructions of bridges are coming in this sector. Second, manufacturing. In manufacturing sector, manufacturing of car and bikes are coming into this sector. And water supply in homes and in public places. And solar power is actually companies are setting up solar plants to supply power supply, solar power. Okay, and now next is electricity production is coming in secondary sector. Okay, now third one is tertiary sector. In tertiary sector, healthcare. Okay, healthcare means hospitals and medical care and clinics are coming into in this sector. Second is trade and logistic. So trade, it means we are doing our trade. And third is communication means some companies are involved in communication sector. Okay, now third is banking sector is also called tertiary sector. And last one is transportation is also called tertiary sector. Now we are going to study primary sector. The primary sector is a fundamental part of economy that focuses on extracting and producing raw materials directly from nature. So in primary sector, we are getting raw materials directly from, we are getting or extracting, okay, and producing raw materials directly from the nature. People working in this sector rely on natural resources. So people who are involved in this sector, they are relying on natural resources to produce goods that are vital for our daily lives. We are using some products in our daily lives, and they are manufactured in this sector. The primary sector is crucial because it is very important, because it supplies the raw materials needed by the secondary sector. To secondary sector, some raw materials are needed in secondary sector, like constructions of building, constructions of dam, constructions of roads, or car manufacturing, and e-rickshaw manufacturing, bike manufacturing. They need raw materials provided by primary sector. Okay, which transform these materials into the finished product. So in secondary sector, uh, companies are taking raw material from primary sector and converting into finishing into products we use every day. So we use every day. Activities in the primary sector are directly involved in obtaining resources. So in primary sector, what we are doing, we are actually obtaining resources from the environment, like we are getting coal, we are getting fish, we are raising animals, okay, making them the first step in the production process. So suppose in mining sector we are getting coals, we are getting gold, and we are getting bauxite, we are getting copper, we are getting some other raw materials which are needed in secondary sector. These activities are closely linked to nature. So these activities which we are doing are very closely linked to nature and provide the basic material that other sector of the economy depend on. So in primary sector, what we are getting is needed by secondary sector. Without the primary sector, there would be no raw materials. So in primary sector, we are getting raw materials which is procured by the secondary sector, and they are producing goods ready to use for manufacturing, construction, or services. Therefore, the health and productivity of the primary sector are essential for the overall well-being of the economy. So we can say that primary sector is a base of our economic sector. Okay, because without raw material which are provided by raw materials which are provided by primary sector, secondary sector cannot procure, cannot get raw materials, okay, which is needed for their production. Now, following are some common example of activities in the primary sector. Farming is one of the most important activities in the primary sector. Farming is actually, as we know that our economy is agriculture based economy. So farming is one of the most important activities in our country. It involves growing crops such as, in farming we grow crops such as grains, fruits. In grains we are growing wheat, we are growing paddy, we are growing pulses, we are growing grams. Fruits also we are growing, and vegetables. Farmers cultivate the land, plant seeds, and carefully tend to their crops until they are ready to be harvested. So now, first of all, if anyone wants to grow weeds, what should he do? He will cultivate his land twice and thrice, then he will use water, he will use irrigation system, and then after drying up he will use seeds, he will use seeds, and for with the help of fertilizer, after some time, after 2 3 months, his crops will be ready for harvesting. Okay, this work requires knowledge of soil, so it is very important. So we should know the type of soils which on which we are going to grow our crops. Weather is also very essential for our food production, and plant care to ensure a good harvest. Okay, next point is fishing. Fishing involves catching fish from oceans, rivers, and lakes. So we can catch fish from lakes, rivers, and sometimes oceans. Fishermen use various methods such as boats. So sometimes fishermen are using boats, okay, and nets. They are using boats and nets, and they are going to the ocean, and they are just with the help of nets and boat they are catching the fish. To catch different type of fish, their fish These fish are then sold to restaurants, markets, and consumers. Okay, for the customers. Fishing not only provides food but also supports many communities that depend on this industry for their livelihood. So, fishing is very, very important business, and thousands of people are depending on this business, and they are earning their livelihood from this business. Forestry includes the management and harvesting of trees for wood and other products. So, actually, if we want to make furniture, if we want to make a table, chair, or anything, we would get wood from this sector, which can be used for building houses, making furniture, and creating paper products. So, paper we can also get from the trees. Sustainable forestry practices are important to ensure that forests can regenerate and continue to provide resources for future generations. So we should not use trees and our natural resources blindly, because they are they are being less in number. So we should provide resources for our coming generation, okay, because it is very, very important. Trees give us lots of oxygens and consume carbon dioxide, which is very, very harmful gas. Okay, so it is very important that trees are surviving on the earth. Mining is the activity of extracting materials and resources from the earth. So, actually, this example of mining is getting coal from the earth. Miners dig into the ground to find valuable materials. Actually, coals are found on the earth, deep in the earth, like coal, gold, or copper. Mining can be challenging and dangerous. Sometimes it can be proved dangerous. So, mining, who people who are involved in mining business, they should be very careful. But it is essential for providing the raw materials needed for many industries. Actually, in electricity production, some companies are using coal also. So how can we get coal without involving in mining business? Okay, so student, one more point is there. I should read the last point for today. Raising livestock involves taking care of animals for food, such as cows. Cows give us milk. Pigs, some people take pigs for their meat, and chickens. Farmers who raise livestock provide meat, milk, and eggs are called poultry farmers. This activity requires knowledge of animals husbandry to ensure that animals are healthy and productive. So, people who are involved in raising livestock, they should be careful about their animals' health and their care, so that they can get milk, and if they are raising their animals for meat, they can eat healthy meat rather than diseased meat. Okay, so student, that's all for today. Tomorrow I will explain before you rest part of the chapter. Till then, goodbye.